All right. Welcome to the Falcon Forward podcast. I was going to do a solo episode today because Mike is out traveling. And I thought, you know what? No one's met Devin yet. And so I want to have Devin on today. Devin is, man, you very quickly become a very valuable player even 2 weeks in for us. You went through our internship. You're now going through, I think, our first iteration of whatever new training program we're putting together for brokers as we're trying to grow and do this the right way. But how's your morning going? I know I called you like 5 minutes ago and said, do you have a camera? Are you at home? Can you throw on a polo and a hat and jump on? And here you are.
Yeah, it's been good. It's funny because I actually woke up a little early today for some reason. I don't know if it's just like the excitement of everything going on or whatnot, but yeah, I was up early. I'm glad you called. So yeah, here we are.
Here we are. It's a let's see. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 1st. So it's April Fool's Day. My
April
son,
Fool.
he's 6 years old. He's super excited. We got Easter coming up. Everyone's off Friday. So, we got a lot of good things. But man, the stuff that we've been throwing at you, I know I've been throwing you proposals to build. You've been helping us with attaching things and reviewing policies. And it almost probably feels a little overwhelming. You've been going out, you got your broker license, so you're actually a producer. But before we get into any of those details of like what you're doing now, could you give us a little background on yourself, where you're from, and how the heck you ended up here? Because I'm sure you're wondering the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm from Reno, Nevada. My background is kind of in logistics. So I was in logistics for a very long time as a freight broker. So a little bit more transactional on the selling end of things. Yeah, with that, I just felt like I learned a lot in like networking and meeting people and whatnot. So with that, I kind of tied that into, okay, well, I want to continue my growing of like networking and sales and whatnot. What's the next best move? Maybe going into it. With networking and whatnot, you kind of just need to put yourself out there. So I started talking to people that were in the industry, and that's how I kind of led to where I'm at now, just by meeting people, connecting, phone calls and whatnot. And here I am. I mean, it's been a ride. It's been a lot. There's so much to learn, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How were you introduced to Falcon West? How did you hear about us? Because
So
you're in
it's funny.
Nevada, so it's not. Yeah.
I was snowboarding with a buddy, and he told me about his friend that was in the insurance industry, and he was in insurance for trucking companies. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can bridge that gap, So I reached out to him, and he was like, okay, let's go out for a beer and just talk about it. And then we got to know each other a little bit. He's like, okay, well, let me introduce you to two other people. Those two people, one of them was Mike Mannett, which I believe you know. Yeah, and so Mike, I met with him, had a coffee with him, and then he was like, okay, well, let me introduce you to someone else. And that was Mike Tingy. So I got on the phone with him, got introduced to you. And then again, like I said, it's just been networking from there on out. And then, now I'm in this seat. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember the first time. So Mike sends me an email. He's like, hey, we're talking to this kid, Devin, and he's this kind of backstory a little bit. And then I think it was like on a Saturday or like a Friday afternoon. And anyways, I remember exactly where I was when I first called you, because we set up a call. I think it was like 15 minutes. Just want to say hello, kind of get an idea, a voice behind the name, I guess. And I was actually in Encinitas with my family, and I think we ended up talking for like 30-45 minutes. It went way over, just kind of like learning. And then I think you're the reason. Like, we were only going to run 3 academies last year, and I'm like, we got to run a 4th one because like I got to get Devin in. And
Wow.
so anyways, you kicked that off for us. It was great. So from day one, we already had kind of a lot of momentum. That was in August when we first talked of last year, and then October started the academy. Wrap that up early January, and here we are in March. I think you're in your 3rd week too. So
Yeah.
a lot of fun, and some of your hobbies, right? So just to kind of round you out as a person for everybody, you're into motorcycles, right? You can
Yep.
weld. What other tricks do you have up your sleeve?
You really big into mountain biking right now for some reason. I'm just all about mountain biking. I'm a big snowboarder, but yeah, anything like kind of like with a creative aspect to it. Like you said, I like to build motorcycles, weld. And it's funny, because I did that for a job for a little bit when I was a little bit younger, and you always hear that you don't want to be doing like your passion all day long, because at the end of the day, when you want to go do it for yourself, it's not as exciting or fun. So it's nice to have a little bit of a difference, as far as your career path. Get through all the busy work in the day, and then kind of in the afternoon you can go have your fun. And those are those things. It's mountain biking, dirt biking, motorcycle riding, skateboarding, snowboarding, a lot of outdoor activities.
Yeah.
So
To those listening, Devin doesn't know this yet, but when you're a broker, you don't ever let off the throttle. It doesn't stop. So
yeah,
Matthew
that's freight
Portillo,
brokering for you too.
yeah, that's the same. I mean, I think any industry, right? Like, I mean, I came from automotive, and I was talking to my wife about this, is because my whole thing was like, okay, I've got a young family, want to get into something that maybe has more balance, and it's like, yeah, so I get to work from home, which is cool because I can control my calendar, right? And you know how obsessive I am about controlling my time blocks, and and I think you're kind of taking onto that as well. But so it's nice to like not have to be somewhere all the time and be able to be present for those moments. But the intensity level across the whole spectrum of your hours is pretty it's impressive. You might want to talk to Matthew Portillo. He's actually one of our senior brokers, and he's super into mountain biking as well. Like he's dialed in. You guys would probably geek out on stuff, but
yeah, totally, I love that.
So family, married, kids, like give us a little piece about.
Yeah, so I'm married. Been married for about 1.5 years. My wife is a nurse out here in Reno, and we're pregnant right now. So we
All
have a
right.
little baby coming July 4th, which is
Oh,
exciting,
it's exciting.
and you have 2 little ones of your own.
Yeah.
And I've tried to talk to people, I'm past the nervousness. Like, I'm just excited. It's just an excitement.
Yeah.
And I think there's no preparation you can really do until it just happens and you
Right.
start figuring it out. Maybe
Did
you
you
can
put the
talk
nursery
on
together?
that.
You got all that done, the crib's done, like all that, or no?
What's that?
Have you put a nursery together yet? Like, have you guys
Oh
put
yeah.
together?
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
all
Yeah,
right, all
yeah.
right.
We've been doing a
Yeah,
lot of home
okay,
renovations and prep and everything. And we put flooring down in the baby's room and whatnot. We just built the crib, and it's all exciting. But yeah, like at this point, we're a couple months out. We're just waiting for that date to come. It's just like, we're anticipating it, and we're ready for it. We're just excited.
It
I've been
is
kind of
the
joking around, like, my summer's a little bit compromised at this point, but for a good reason. I kind of was like,
yeah.
all right, I'm gonna sell my camper. I'm not gonna be able to go camping too much this summer, but it's
Man,
all gonna be fun.
it all comes back though, like slowly. Like, so I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I'll tell you right now, like if I could relive any part of their life, it's that first year. I mean, you
Yeah,
like really, it's the easiest year of having kids, and it's also to me like the most fun and rewarding.
yeah,
Like in terms of just like being a father, right? And I can tell you, like my wife kind of looks at me like she kind of like she'd like to have a third at some point potentially, but we're just we're not there yet, or I'm not there yet. But like as they grow and like so just like enjoy this moment. I think anyone that has kids and like listens, like it's a lot of work. It's very rewarding. When you look at producers or brokers that like started in their 20s and don't have kids, and like the amount of work they're able to put into this, it's interesting to see like how quickly they grow. So it's like you got to figure out that balance. And if you end up working at 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes it is what it is. But
yeah.
a lot of fun, man. I'm so excited for you, and I just can't wait to share dad jokes with you. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, bring them on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
excited
know
for
any
that
dad
as well.
jokes yet? Like,
I
have
mean,
you gotten that level?
my dad is a huge jokester. He's a jokester of the family, and I'm not a dad yet, but I already
Yeah.
have some of my sleeves. So
Fair. Okay. Yeah. I see most of my material I get from my kids, right? And I'm like, I'm not very good at jokes, but my son told me one yesterday, and I don't think he even understood why it was funny. But here it goes. So, anyways, a pastor, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a blood donation place, and this is exactly how my son told me the joke. Okay. And they sit down and they start talking to each other, and they all start filling out the paperwork. He's like, they got to get the clipboard. Dad, they got to fill out all their name and all the information so the doctor knows who they are. I said, okay. And he goes, okay. So anyways, he's like, the priest, he looks over to the pastor and he says, what's your blood type? And the priest goes, oh, I'm a type A. He's like, what about you? He's like, I'm an A. And they look over at the rabbit and they said, what's your blood type? And he goes, oh, I think I'm a type O.
a
It's a great
typo,
joke. It's a
a
great
typo.
joke. Yeah, because it's supposed to be. It's yeah.
There's
So,
no way he
anyways, my
understood
son's
that.
already telling jokes about priests, rabbis, and pastors. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Very religious community that we grew up in. So that's a great joke. You can try that out with your wife. Let me know how flat it falls. But anyways, being a dad's great. Before I let you go, I would love for people to hear sort of what your day to day is right now, because again, you're going through the gauntlet of whatever Peter's training program is right now. It's not precise. We spent time with Mike and Myra, Jason, myself, kind of crafting like what needed to be learned before. And you have a task book that you're working your way through just to give people a high level of context. But you're pitching in, as much as you can, like almost, it's almost, you probably feel like a janitor, like a data janitor sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Which is not a bad place to start because you're learning all the ins and outs and how things work. But what's your day to day right now look like?
Right now, logging on and looking for an email from Myra for eDocs to attach eDocs into AMS. And like you said, yeah, it seems like busy work, but it's great because I could just, I get to dive into it, see all the customers that we have, the clients that we have, and just kind of learn on the processes through like, filing eDocs and mail and whatnot. And you can just go on to the ins and outs of all that. And then, right now, when I have some free time, I'll try to do as much prospecting as I can, wherever I can, which is a fun part. I'm sure because, just hopping on websites and just seeing what
Yeah.
you can kind of dig up,
Yep.
and then hopping on Zoom calls. And then, next thing you know, you look at the time, it's 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. You're like, wow, the
Yeah.
day went by. So it gets
goes
busy.
fast.
But yeah, it's all exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the intent, right, is to, I mean, at the end of this, I think it's 3 to 4 months is what it's going to take. As soon as you can check everything off and have mastery of it. And obviously, but yeah, the prospecting side is the fun part, I think. And
Yeah.
you got your license. I think I really appreciated your proactive spirit and like, man, I'm gonna get my license now. Like I think we were probably halfway through the academy and you were already like saying, okay, I want to get this and just do it. Took your test, you passed, and the rest is history. But
Yeah.
yeah, so lots of great things. I mean, I'm super amped like to now have you and Maceo and myself kind of on this chain. I know we're adding push-ups every week to our roster.
Yep.
Don't know if you've cracked yet. I think we've hit 30, but we're hanging in there. We'll see.
It's tough.
Maceo's got this one, but
I'm
we
a
got to
little
try
bit
to keep
nervous
up.
for next week.
Yeah.
40. We'll see how that goes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting tricky. Anyways,
Yeah.
we'll hang in there, man. So, all right, well, we're gonna keep running. We've got the day ahead of us. We wanted to say happy Easter to everyone here at Falcon West. If you guys want to, hit up Devin and say hello. His email is really simple. It's on our website. It's devin@falconwest.com. He'll be working with the energy and marine team. He has some commercial accounts he's working on, personal lines, kind of everything until he finds his groove and it starts to take off rapidly. So, Devin, thank you for jumping on short notice, and I'll see you on the next Zoom call.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.